AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio with me, Astrologer Shelley Overton. Each week we go over the planetary positions, discuss astrology, and take callers' questions. If you would like to call in and get a reading, you can call 347-994-3365. Call in early as the lines fill up. Welcome to the December 18th, 2018 edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and we're just going to assume you can hear me today. I actually forgot to set up the chat room, which I will do right now. And I am doing everything in my power to make sure that it goes well. Mercury is almost clearing its shadow, believe it or not. It still hasn't. But that is, let me just look here, on Friday the 23rd, it will have cleared. And believe it or not, Venus has cleared its shadow as of yesterday. So very happy about that. And let's see what else is going on. Actually, I don't see anything popping out for today off of my table. I was just looking at my table, but we've got a lot to talk about because we are approaching the winter solstice. So are you familiar with the winter solstice? That is when the sun goes into Capricorn. And that means that we are at the shortest day of the year and the longest night. And as far as I'm concerned, the coldest in Orlando. It's 52 degrees right now, and it was 45 when I woke up. So, it's kind of a cold snap. But I will say this. It is sunny, it is cloudless, and I'm very, very happy about that because the moon has been going through Pisces recently, and a couple days ago it went into Aries, and today it's in Taurus. So when it went into Aries, the skies kind of cleared up. The water that we had actually yesterday, though, we did have fog because it got cool so quickly. The ground was still warm, and I took some pictures, and it was really ethereal and very interesting out there yesterday morning. But it is now clear, it is sunny, but it's a little chilly. Not going to kid you, it's chilly, and the sun is getting closer to Capricorn right now. It's 26 degrees Sagittarius. And again, end degrees of a sign mean we're wrapping something up, and whatever sign or light, as the sun and moon are called, are in or going through that part of the sky. It will be ending a story around something. Sorry, I had a little cough there. Anyway, at the end of a sign, so Sagittarius, it is wrapping up a story around freedom, around ideas and spirituality, but as it relates to the sense of self and to your ego. So that's where the sun is today. That's the energy that we're dealing with for the next few days. And I just flipped my page here on my little cheat sheet, my planner that I have, my planetary guide, so I can tell you when it actually goes in. So the winter solstice is December 21st, which is Friday. And let's see, it's at 5:23 p.m. Eastern, 2:23 p.m. Pacific. And then not long after it goes in, when it gets to 0 degrees and 49 minutes, it will be opposite the moon in Cancer, which happens at 11:28 a.m. on Saturday, the 22nd, and 8:28 a.m. Pacific. So it's going to happen fairly quickly. So that's only I'm just doing the math here, about 12 hours, no, a little over 12 hours. So 18 hours. Seems long, but it is. It's about 18 hours after it goes in, we have a full moon. And so immediately after the sun enters Capricorn, the moon in conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn at 7:23 p.m. And so we're going to immediately get some kind of pushback energy from the moon going on. In conjunct is 150 degrees apart, and it's an uncomfortable energy. It's definitely not one that you really are looking forward to. It's honestly, there are really few things that I can say about inconjuncts that are things to look forward to, because it means friction. And anyway, so it's coming right after. But then not long after that, well, I was hoping for the positive news. But after that, the moon squares Mars also, which means that we're going to have some emotions around words and peacefulness. So Mars in Pisces, especially getting into the last 10 degrees, is about setting in and getting ready for setting the energy in from the middle degrees, meaning that middle 10 degrees are where we really gel the idea of a sign, and then moving into the next 10, which starts at 20 through 29, is about prepping for the transition to the next energy. And so Mars is now at 21 degrees, or the third decan, the last decan of the sign. And so it's about getting into the the deep subconscious energy, the Scorpio energy of the zodiac. And so it's going to dig deep in our psyche, in our sense of self, as we get ready for Mars to go into Aries. And Mars goes into Aries. Let's just flip back over to the table, which is my quickest way to tell you. Just killing some airtime. Oh, the 1st of January. Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting year. I'm ramping up for my end of year shows, which are going to be about the culmination of this year and giving predictions for next year. The January 1st show is a Tuesday, so it's probably going to be my New Year's show, unless I decide to split it. Well, I'll probably split it into two, because there's a lot of stuff. So what I might do, and I'm not going to guarantee it, but I'm thinking about doing the first 6 signs of the zodiac, the first show, which would probably be Christmas Day, and then the next 6 signs are going to be New Year's Day. And so it's going to be not likely to be a call-in show, because it just takes up so much time. But your sign, your sun sign, will be there, so that you can get all the information for that. So looks like I didn't get my chat room completely set up. Let's see if I can do that. I did the little trick that I used to make sure that you can all hear me, which is call in twice to the show. So hopefully that's working. It looks like we're okay with that today. And I do want to tell you, I edit all the gaps in the show and I put it up on YouTube. So if you don't want to listen to the show because it's dead air for a while, those are edited within a couple weeks, probably a week of the show, and you can get it on YouTube under Artful Shelley. So just throwing that out there. Okay, so the sun, late degree Sagittarius, ego, identity, having a sense of freedom in our lives and in our how we look at ourselves. Going into Capricorn. Now, Capricorn, again, it's an earth sign. That means it's grounded, it's literal, it's practical, pragmatic. And the sun is really kind of an anomaly to the energy of Capricorn, because the sun represents the sun sign of Leo, which is about ego, identity, attention getting, being connected to people, and fun-loving, free, and bubbly, and creative, romantic. And none of that is a Capricorn ideology. Capricorn is about making sure things are set, that they're consistent, they're reliable, they are not moving, and it's practical and pragmatic and organizational. So when the sun, a very bright light in the sky, goes into Capricorn, it works both ways. It is in the energy of Capricorn, so it is highlighting this practical nature. But by the same token, because it's so bright, it illuminates it. It gives us a sense of calmness and peace in that energy, and that we feel more on our game, because it's highlighting the energy that makes us feel connected to consistency, to stability. And so as the sun moves into Capricorn on a solstice, we are probably a little bit more self-aware and a little bit more analytical of our lives and how we are living our lives. It is right before Christmas, so the last little bits of that Sagittarius energy are embraced in Christmas. It's bright and I always think of Christmas time, especially because we are going through this strong time of Jupiter and Mercury in Sagittarius, and it's the time of year when the quicker moving planets cluster and go into Sagittarius. Um, it's more jovial and light. And then on the 21st with the solstice, that's the energy that brings us down to earth, and then we start to worry a little bit more about the practicality of spending so much money, and are things all set up for that day? Are we going to have a nice time when we get together? Are there issues with family and the family structure? Again, having the moon go into a Cancer and then be full the day after the solstice, then we're going to be very much focused on home and family and the structure of home and the structure of family. I have some things going on with my situation in my home right now that I'm very much focused on, and it's probably going to, be the focus of my mind as this gets closer and closer. And then we have the North and South node also in Cancer and Capricorn. So the North node's in Cancer at 27 and the South at 27 Capricorn. So they are triggering this culmination energy, which is really interesting. I mean, I need to research those more. They are something that I've touched on throughout my astrological career and I know about, but I don't know in great depth. Like I have books on them, I've read books on them, and they're still somewhat of an anomaly to me. But I'm curious. What makes me curious is they retrograde through the sky. So they start out at the end degrees and kind of pull a Benjamin button through the sign that they're in, and they go all the way back to the beginning. So I think the energy that I get from the nodes is that it's about balance and it's about moving beyond your past and moving towards a future and using the difficulties and energy that you come into this life as and transmuting it. And this is really what it is. It's always been what the definition is transmuting energy from the past to move forward and have a brighter, happier future, more fortunate future, because the North Node is about fortune. And it's just a fascinating thing to think that they move retrograde because they are a dynamic intersection on the axis of the around the Earth. So everything's moving. It's a nodal point, meaning it's from the moon, and so it always is in transit in a retrograde motion. So it's like watching the hubcaps of a car spin backwards while everything else is going forward. But it means that we start at the end and work our way back to the beginning in understanding and expression. And it's just a really fascinating concept, but I don't want to digress here. So anyway, maybe I'll look into that, what that dynamic is going backwards to forward, and I can report on that after I found that out for you. Anyway, having the sun move forward into Capricorn, he will be joining up with Saturn. So it means that we are at the end degree of some energy around an identity issue. It could be a person in the spotlight, a celebrity. I will tell you, this is an opposition to Trump's Pluto at end degree. No, I take it back. Not as Pluto. Pluto's in Leo, so it's actually a trine to his Pluto, but it is an opposition to his Sun, which was 16 degrees Gemini, and today is. Oh, no, I take it back. It's probably not 16. I should probably shut up about it. But what I'm saying is I believe he was born on the 16th of the month. And so that would mean it is a late degree sun. And I can find that out for you here while I'm chit-chatting with you. But suffice it to say that he is actually experiencing some intense energy in his chart. And that's not surprising because we all kind of see it play out in the news and on Twitter. But it is the end of an ego issue. So that means that whatever we connect to something that makes us feel like we're secure or safe, or we are defending our identity, that's going to shift. And again, I use this when these degrees are triggered astrologically. This is the 2007, 2008 housing market collapse. This is the degree. We had this wonderful bubbly energy, not bubbly, I shouldn't say that. I mean, it is Sagittarius can be bubbly, but is ebullient. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for, buoyant. We think in positive ways. We look towards what we can do, not what we can't do. So as we get toward the end degrees of the sign, like I said, we've culminated something. We are at the end of that sign, and it's getting ready to go into this next sign, and Capricorn is very practical and down to earth. So this energy that brings us into optimism, into no limits, has very strict limits when it hits Capricorn. So the 21st, I'm going to just put it out there, is probably a significant day for what's going on with the Mueller investigation. I wouldn't be surprised if something goes on around that. And it also, as far as I would put an idea on the energy of governmental agencies, anything that is shored up or would I don't know, the CIA and the FBI, definitely those two agencies in particular strike me as Capricornian agencies, probably maybe a little more Gemini for the CIA because it's spying, or even Scorpio. Information is why I chose Gemini for that. But the FBI, having their ducks in a row and having things, I just think of Just the Facts, Ma'am from Dragnet. Just the Facts, Ma'am. It's very Capricornian. So it's down to earth and logical and literal, and we don't want to get any emotions involved. We just want to know what there is in the physical world that supports something. So as the sun goes into that sign, we are going from that really optimistic energy into a much more down-to-earth, practical, get our ducks in a row kind of energy. We're starting to think about how we're going to get the tree put away, and where are we going to put all the baubles, and do we have the right containers for everything. And so the sun joins up with Saturn. We are also thinking about career, and are we where we want to be? It's a great time for an opportunity for career advancement or a promotion or whatever we're doing that is supporting the structure that will get recognized at this time. So in the first 2 weeks of that sign, or even first 10 days, we're going to feel this energy much more strongly, like wanting to be where we need to be. Now, as Saturn has just gone into Capricorn about a year ago, and it's making its way forward. Actually, might not even have been. It might have been in Sagittarius, but it seems like a year. Capricorn went retrograde. I believe it was a year ago, but let me just double check. All this Mars and Pisces energy definitely affects me with all my Virgo. It makes me a little bit more dreamy and not able to retain the details as much, but having Sun in Capricorn will help us retain those details a little bit more. Earth signs are about the details. They're about the practical side of things. So, yeah, Saturn's been in Capricorn for a year. It just went retrograde. It went all the way back to like 2 degrees, which is why it's still at the early degrees of the sign. So, so we're going to have this culmination of some story that we've been working on for the past year and shining the light on it, which is really awesome. This next year is going to be really interesting with Saturn moving closer to Pluto, because Saturn is going to join up with Pluto in a year from January. And that's when we will really see this major shift around government, around the structure of our government, which is getting really lined up to make some shifts. I mean, we're already seeing some challenges, and then we have counter challenges, and then there's all this back and forth. And interestingly, they're talking about shutting the government down for the wall. What is a wall? It's a structure. government ruled by Saturn and Capricorn. I see it also ruled by Pluto and Scorpio, because that's law, but it is a lot of lawyers in Washington. And the two are joining up together. So over the course of the next year, that story is going to get more and more prominent. And then next year, we're going to pretty much culminate this story. And again, next year, they join up at 23 Capricorn, 22 or 23 Capricorn, and our country's Pluto was around 27. So it's very, very close to our natal Pluto in this country. And it is a Pluto return. So we're experiencing growing pains and trying to understand our place in the world and what is our authority. And are we really looking at our own goblins, which is what Pluto is bringing us in line to do. So Capricorn is a really introspective position if you consider it is the ruling planet of the ruling sign of when we make all our New Year's resolutions. So we're going to be really digging deep psychologically this year and probably in the past couple of years to try and get to the heart of what makes us tick and what we really truly want to do with the rest of our days. We have this energy. So this is the other thing about what's going on with Neptune in Pisces and Mars at 21 Pisces. So Neptune's at 13 and Mars is at 21. And they are in sextile or positive aspect to Pluto. And so Pluto is bringing up the psychology, but also the psychology of the structure and our authority figures. And are we going to pay attention to them, or do we have different ideas? The interesting thing is, of course, Saturn crosses Pluto and then goes into Aquarius, and goes into Aquarius, I want to say 2020. So just after it goes over Pluto, it goes into Aquarius, and I don't have that handy. Let me just call it up for you here. I feel like, I'm a little tangential, and I definitely go off the cuff most shows unless I'm doing like a dissertation on some other concept that I've done research on. So I didn't really have my book here to tell you when this happens, but I'll let you know right now. December 17th of 2020 is when Saturn gets into Aquarius. And so that's probably going to be embedded in my mind. It's actually a year from yesterday. We have one more year and then it goes in. So it does retrograde, and so it will be going back. No, it's 2020. I'm sorry. That's 2 years. Didn't I say? So you're listening to me chit-chat here. Yeah, it's in 2 years from yesterday. Sorry about that. And so it's going to be a very significant year as well. And 2020 being vision, clear vision, is significant because having Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius, is clear seeing. It's claircognizant in all the clairs when you're thinking about psychic awareness. So it's going to be an amazing 2 years, and we're working our way there. And so this year on the solstice, we are again very much aware with the full moon in Cancer, aware of home and family versus our jobs, and versus are we getting our needs met? Are we getting our needs from our job, our career, and then also the structure of our lives. Because whenever planets go through the fourth house, which is ruled by Cancer, we look to where we're living. We look to when we move, when we come into something new in the home life, and then exit something and move on to the next thing. And having the planets at Capricorn, which is the midheaven, which is the career, versus our home life, we are coming to some conclusions around home life. What are we doing with it? How is that moving? How is that going? And it's going to be a pretty significant shift and psychology for us coming in here on the solstice this year. We might want to write down some goals for that time because it's going to be very strong energy towards the tangible creation of those goals with the new energy of the sun coming in. What do we want to shine the light on is kind of a good way to put it. And also, what are our upcoming goals? And I will tell you, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, before our end of year, or New Year's show, I should say, is writing down your goals, but don't make a ceremony about them. Don't make the resolutions put out into the universe until after Uranus goes direct. And that is, again, I don't have my planner, but it's after the 3rd of January. So I'll tell you just based on the table. 6th, I take it back. I'm so sorry, the 6th, because the 3rd is when Mars will be in Aries. But the 6th is when Uranus goes direct. And that way, any shifts and changes of your ideas and your goals will be going in the right direction, so to speak, that we'll know for sure, hey, this is the way I want to go, and not second guess yourself or have that change throughout the year. So yeah, during that first week, if you could put it off to the end of the first week, which would be like Saturday, Sunday of the first week of January, first week of January 2019, that will be much more helpful to you in setting those and making them culminate in the direction you would like them to go, or even release. And that's going to be a big thing for this coming year too, is releasing old ideologies, because Uranus at the end degrees of Aries until March, it will be about releasing those old actions and behaviors. So it's a really good time to make the resolutions around getting rid of an old habit and letting something go. So let's see what else I can tell you before we go to our break and take some calls, other than the call-in number 347-994-3365 if you'd like a reading. Don't forget to press 1 if you want me to call on you. And let's see, so Mercury right now is in conjunct the moon today. The moon is right now, I'll even update it here just for accuracy's sake. It's at 3 degrees, it still is 3 degrees. So 3 degrees of Taurus in conjunct Mercury at 5 degrees of Sagittarius. So the dynamic of those two signs is emotion and home and the money around home versus communicating what you're doing to the world, communicating it out to other entities, and bringing yourself in a larger sense to other cultures, and finding a higher way of looking at something, a higher way of doing what it is you need to do. And so, and it's the prep time. Now remember, Sagittarius is the 9th house, which is the subconscious house of career. It is also the prep and educational energy coming up on career. So it's really, what are you finishing up with your career, and, or not career, with the training getting you ready for your career as you get ready to go on to the next phase, which will be in January. So Mercury, ideas, thoughts around freedom, around spirituality, around, having to take action on something. You can't take action in the same way. Well, you can, but not in the same way you would normally do it, or you would do it without an opposition or an inconjunct, because moon, which is desire on some level, Venus is also desire, but the moon is how we express desire through our security and safety and emotional stability. It's not in alignment with our thoughts. So we've got this back and forth between, I really want to be cozy and safe and secure, but there's something coming in that wants me to go out and take a risk and take a chance and do something in an extreme way. Taurus is not extreme. Sagittarius is more extreme. It pulls two directions. So the moon in Taurus wants us to go over the well-worn path and do things that are predictable and take our time. Mercury in Sagittarius wants to just go and get it done and go out. And so I could say probably, and I use this a lot, I use Trump and politics as an illustration of what I'm trying to get at. But Mueller would be an example of moon in Taurus, wanting to have everything clear and set and proper before it's released. Mercury is pushing that agenda to be released. Go, release it. Show us what you got. Put it all out on the table. Because remember, Sagittarius is the next sign after Scorpio, so it wants to make up for, so to speak, what Scorpio does. And Scorpio keeps things close to the chest and doesn't want to show what information it has found out. But Sagittarius says, quit hiding it. Let's just get it out there. So having that energy of wanting to just be brash and move forward and not worry about consequences flies in the face completely of Moon in Taurus. Taurus wants it to be safe and secure, and that's your money. And so there's going to be this tug of war going on over, do I sell my stocks? Do I not? Do I buy that house? Do I not? Do I go to school? Do I finish early or do I stay there? These are the things that are coming up. This is how it works with our mind and the back and forth between this is comfortable. I'll give an example. My son is coming up on probably I'll just say his last full year of college, and he could technically graduate the end of next year, a year from now, but it would have gone through May of the year after, of 2020, and he's going to have to decide what he's going to do when he's completed all the requirements. And I know right now he's kind of going over that, and we're, as a family, we're discussing, where are you going after this? Are you going to continue your education? Are you going to get a job? Are you going to leave? Are you going to stay? What is that going to look like? So those are the kind of things that can come up at this time. And it is the end of the year. We're starting to really wrap up this year and go, well, what do I want my next year to look like? And I think next year is going to be a little bit more freeing for us, and also more responsibility. And that sounds strange, but it's true. There's going to be kind of a dichotomy going on. But it will be a great building year, as we have Saturn and Pluto going through Capricorn next year, and Uranus will be in Taurus the majority of the year from March on. And so we're going to really set things in stone and build our dream and make it a more tangible, touchable dream. And so that's really a great thing. I'm looking forward to that. And we'll still have Neptune there for quite a few years in Pisces. And so we're going to have that energy really tempering the esoteric side, the psychic side, the dreamy, feely, touchy, feely kind of sensations coming into our world. And it's not going to be just strictly nose to the grindstone, make it happen. We do still have Venus and Scorpio for the duration of the month. Let me just look that up real quick, and I'll tell you when Venus gets into Sagittarius. Yeah, it's going to be early 20, or excuse me, see, in my mind, I'm already on to 2020. I'm so projecting forward into this energy coming because it's such a significant time. 2019, 2020, and then ramping up to where Pluto goes into Aquarius in 2024. It's significant. These are the next 5 years that shift our world. This is not even just personal level. This is national, global. This is our vision as humanity moving forward. And what do we need to let go of, and what are we going to embrace? What tangible things have outlived their usefulness and are done, and what are we bringing in of new ideas, clarity, awareness? That's what Aquarius is, and it's getting stronger and stronger over the first 4 years of the 2020s. So yeah, I've already kind of in my mind moved towards that a bit. 2019, interestingly enough, is kind of an initiating year numerically, or actually 2018 was too, because that breaks down to 11 and then 2. But let's see, the next year is a 3-year, and honestly, that's like the one anomaly other than Ascended Masters. It's when, I guess that's probably a good analogy for 2019. It's really when we start to clarify that we have authority in whatever field we're interested in, whatever has driven us in our soul and not just in our minds. That's where we're heading in 2019. So it's really going to be shoring that up for us. And with that said, I've already gone way into the next half hour, 11:34. And so we're going to take a break, and then we will be back. So we'll be right back after a break.
Hey, Sunny. Hey, Luna. What you doing? Staring out at the stars? That's pretty cool. There are so many in the sky. I have heard the moon can affect us, most noticeably under a full moon. Yeah, I've been studying astrology. Really? Yeah, I have a cool new ebook. It is by an astrologer. Wow, I heard her podcast. It's called Learn Astrology. It's a book for beginners and novices. It's designed with lots of visuals, which help everyone to learn. Wow, I like pictures. And the author, Shelley Shelley Overton does a great job of explaining the different parts of astrology. You should check it out. Very cool. I will. How? You can go to Shelley's website, angeliczodiac.com, and click the link in the upper right corner. Learn astrology. It takes you straight to the purchase page. If we both learn about the planets, we can see things in a whole new way. Indeed. You know, with Christmas and the holidays coming up, learn astrology makes a great gift. And until December 15th, you can get a discount. Just use the promo code AstroE to get $5 off the purchase price. I'm so excited you can learn astrology with me. Hey, I think that's Mars in the sky, the red one. Wow, you know a lot about the planets.
And welcome back to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. I am Shelley Overton, and I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. If you would like a reading, you can get it through angeliczodiac.com, and I would love to do it for you. Also, that ad said that there is a discount of $5 on my ebook until the 16th of December, which I'm just going to extend it through Christmas Day. So if you would like to get that discount, you can go over to Angelic Zodiac. There's a link in the upper right corner for that particular discount. And just click it, and you'll go there, and you can go through the whole thing. You can see a few sample pages as well. Anyway, so let's take a caller. 318. Hi, 318. How are you?
Is that
Hello.
me?
Yeah, it's you.
Hey.
Hi, who is this?
This is Eva. I've been listening to you for a while,
Eva.
and caught me off guard.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad you're here.
That's awesome. Yes.
Well, why don't you give me your birthday, and then I can get into what you'd like to know.
Okay, it's 8/5/1960. I was born at 11:11 p.m.
Wow, that's
in
awesome.
Pasadena, Texas.
Okay. Let's see. See if I can spell Pasadena properly on that.
It's P-A-S.
Hey, yeah, I got that. Awesome. And 11/11, that's an awesome time to be born as well.
I know.
And yeah, August 5th is my son's birthday. I know, I take it back. August 6th. August 5th is my former mother-in-law's birthday. So what can I do for you today?
Well, I just kind of wondered, like my general transits. I always say I took one astrology class. It's been years since I picked it back up recently, about a year ago. And I always say I know enough to be dangerous. And I was fooling around, on astro.com. I've had a professional reading in the past, and I thought that my progressed moon had moved into Pisces, and I have just been not myself this whole year. I've had trouble concentrating. I can't do the things that I normally do, and I've been, contributing it to age. I got my hormones checked, that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you.
So
it's so funny. It's like these things happen, and I'll tell you, I do. I interact with someone who's always like, oh, I don't believe in that stuff, right? And oh, well, that's just coincidence. You could say this, but that was going to happen anyway. And then we convince ourselves that these things that happen to us are because we're old. And I'll tell you why Pisces energy seems to always get this hit is because Pisces wants us to sleep. So that triggers us, in 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we're wanting to go to sleep. And it also makes us a little bit more forgetful because the energy of Pisces is esoteric. It means that energy of spirit comes through, but it isn't tangible. It isn't like earthly and material. It comes through in spurts of electrical energy, for lack of a better way to describe it. It's just energy coming through us, and it's always flowing through us. So it's very ephemeral. It doesn't stick around. It comes and then it goes again. And if you want to have that information back, like I would recommend, this is kind of silly sounding, but just say, could you repeat that? Like, repeat that thought again, because we lose it so quickly, and I am guilty of this as well. I have Saturn in Pisces, so it's just the way we are right now. Neptune very much is digging in its heels in the middle degrees of Pisces, and it wants us to recognize that not everything is tangible. And we start to get more intuitive hits. We start to be more open to other energies in the world instead of just the hard, tangible ones. There are soft energies that flow through us, and that's the water signs. So Mars right now, 21 degrees Pisces. Chiron's in Pisces. So this energy is very easily associated with things that we consider to be the elderly. And I also have a theory on that. And the theory of that is that when we go through our lives, the closer we get to moving on into the other world, we're going back to spirit. We're going back to that esoteric plane, to the ethereal plane. And so we're opening ourselves up more to that on a subconscious level. So we think we're losing it. We think we're getting old. But what we're doing is we're just opening up to that. And other times in our lives when we do that, personally I've experienced, is when we're pregnant, because we have another vibrational entity within our bodies. And then also when we go through menopause, because we shift away from the hormonal mask, so to speak, that came when we hit puberty, and then we go back to kind of being more of who we truly are, not associated with those cyclic hormones. So, there are different times in our lives when we are that way. Like they say, mom brain. Have you ever heard of that term, mom brain?
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's this energy of Pisces, but it is also the esoteric that we connect into. So when we get older, we're moving towards that energy in our world. So that's, I think, why we associate Piscean energy with the elderly. And in a cycle, it is the last sign of the zodiac. So we go through the whole zodiac and end up at that energy. And it doesn't really mean planets in Pisces, but we always have planets transit 12th house. So there will be a connection, but it also represents the end of life. So that's very wordy explanation of why you connect that. But anyway, go ahead. And you want to know transits, you said, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to have your Uranus hit my ascendant. I know. Coming. Yeah. I don't remember exactly when that is, but
it's going to be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I've had like a major transformation. When you're raised in a certain religion your whole life, and then, you go to that church and you do that, and then it's like about a year or so ago, I just was like wanting to. I started picking the astrology back up, and it was like 29 years ago or longer. I got an astrology book. My sister gave me a reading years ago by Zip Dobbins. She was out of California, and I never forgot the reading when I was young. And then I've just been really having an identity crisis with my faith, and I'm very spiritual. And it's like, and I realized that I have Saturn and Pluto in my 9th house. So now I'm really feeling out of sorts, and then combine that with the mental fog. And I've just been really questioning myself, because I'm a get her done, people can depend on me, that type of person.
Yeah.
So that's been really.
So let me just speak to some of that. So Saturn, of course, is tangible things. I find it really fascinating and not surprising at all that you have Saturn in Aquarius. Aquarius rules astrology, and Saturn is life purpose. And you have it in the house of career, the Saturn house. So, and your moon is 3 degrees off of your Saturn. So like you desire to do something with astrology. That's always been something that fascinates you. And I can tell you Aquarius is very embracing of learning new things. It's really the most curious sign of the zodiac. And the beauty of astrology is that it gives us the ability to look into everything. We can dissect whatever, because everything is covered under some aspect of the planets and stars in the sky. And so it really gives you like a tool to understand on a different plane. And Uranus is coming into your first house, like you said. It will just come up next to it. I tell you, it will be tickling your rising sign, and then it doesn't get in there until 2020, because I'm looking up here. It doesn't get to 6 degrees 58 minutes, and I'm looking at the end of 2019, and it just gets to, well, it gets to 6 degrees in the year, but it retrogrades at 626, roughly. I'm just looking where to go. Retrogrades at 637. So it almost gets there by minutes. It's minutes away. It's literally where the moon is today. So the moon is at 3 degrees and 45 minutes, and it will get to that vicinity when it retrogrades next year. So you're going to be going through this probably for 3 more years or 4.
Yeah.
As far as like that really strong, like, and I will tell you, Saturn, the next couple of years are probably more key, because even though we are ramping up the rhetoric around taking ownership, and we don't want people just taking advantage of the money that the government gives. This is all Saturn in Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn. It's all about taking ownership of your life. That's the beauty of Saturn in Capricorn, is it seems like you're being told what to do by someone else, but what really is happening is that the universe is wanting you to own your stuff. And it presents itself as if you're being restricted by others' rules and regulations, and I can tell you it feels like that to me in my life sometimes. But what it is it's pushing against you so that you can shift your ideology and your sense of identity and self, which is Pluto, the psychology of who you are. It's challenging you. It's wanting you to say, no, I'm going to push back. You can't make me do that. That's not relevant to my life anymore. And so you're feeling that. It's in your 9th house, which of course is the house of freedom. And Pluto wants you to feel this. It wants you to understand that you've been fed someone's view that's a lineage for eons. It's a couple thousand years of this is how you do it. And I can tell you the challenge is coming. The challenge to that authority when Saturn hits Pluto, the ones who are pushing back are going to be the ones who win out, because in a battle between Saturn and Pluto, Pluto's going to win. And Pluto is nothing if not about change and understanding personal value. So
Thanks
it's coming.
So much.
Yeah, it's going to hit your midheaven at 24 Capricorn, and that's, like I said, about 2 degrees away from that Saturn-Pluto conjunction. It is a major shift for you. You're probably at that point going to say, I appreciate everything this viewpoint has given me in my life. I've lived my life by it, but it no longer resonates to my vibration, and I'm going to call my own shots because I need to do that. And when Saturn goes into your Aquarius energy in your house of career, you're not going to have a choice, because Aquarius is nothing if not free and independent. And you will say, this is what I'm at. I'm looking at 60. I mean, I'm going to hit this same energy in about a year and a half. You're only a year older, so I'll get it right on the tails of what you're dealing with. And it's like, I'm going to live my life for me, and this is what I've always meant to be doing. And I love wanting to do this, and I'm excited and interested and effervescent over doing this path. And whatever anyone else had to say to you in the past, and you've kept as your truth, will shift and you'll make that truth your own, and it will be a completely different path, and you'll have the power and the strength to stand up to those people, and they will see your strength, and they will be affected by it. They will see that they don't have to always do what they've been told just because they've been told. And that's the tradition of Capricorn, but it's changing, and it is so profound in everyone's lives and in the path of our world. I'm not even kidding you. This is the most profound change we will ever go through, I believe, in our lives as a collective.
Well, thank you so much, and I enjoy your show. I try to catch you live. And it's just a time difference because I'm in Louisiana. Well, thank you, Shelley, and have a blessed day. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry. I get very intense at times, and that's my Scorpio rising.
Oh.
I just hope I didn't blow you away and blow you off my phone line. Okay.
No, it's awesome. You're so talented.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, you're very sweet to say that. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, take care. Happy Christmas. Happy New Year. Okay?
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. Okay, let's take another call. You all, everyone take a breath. Hi, 818. How are you?
Hi.
Is this Diane?
Hi, I'm great. It's Diane Shelley.
Hi,
It is.
Diane. I've got you
You
right
were
here.
so good with. You really related to that reader. That reading. I
Yeah.
loved listening.
Yeah.
You
Well,
gave her so much.
conceptually, I understood
She kept saying,
conceptually what she's going through. Yeah.
I
So,
know you
how are
said
you
that,
doing?
and it was.
What are you going
I'm
through?
doing. I don't need. I know you don't do medical. I mean,
I
personally,
can
I'm
do
doing
some
great.
a little bit.
Oh, so I took a blood test for my normal annual physical, and all of a sudden they had me do a liver scan. I don't even drink. I mean,
well, liver is really
so
big right now. It's really big. I
is
mean, like
it?
I asked for the book Liver Rescue for Christmas. Yes, I did. Like of all the things you could ask for,
Wow.
I asked for this book called Liver Rescue by the medical medium, and I love the concept because it's clearing out your liver. So what's going on with your liver? It's Pluto, by the
You
way.
know,
Pluto rules the liver,
this
and like the
this
waste
Pluto.
management kind of thing. Pluto is waste management, like the kidneys and the liver and the things that clear out the grunge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It might be.
I don't know what's wrong.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll quit interrupting.
I have no pain. I have no symptoms. And the blood test, not only, I mean, this just went on at the end of last week, and then I had the test yesterday, and I'm going to see the doctor Friday. But I don't know. Is there? I mean, what does the liver represent? Even are you aware?
I think the liver is very. The reason I assign, and you know, my book, I have an assignment book, which is the rulership book. It's in my bedroom, and I'm not going to stop the show to go get it. But I mean, I know the kidneys for sure are Pluto and Scorpio, but I think the liver is too because it is everything that goes through our, like what we eat, it's detoxified in the liver. It's pulled out by the liver. So you know, the kidneys pull stuff out of our urinary tract, but the liver pulls it out of our digestive tract and gets rid of, or at least, you know, sucks it out and absorbs it. So what I see symbolically from that is that we are clearing the gross waste of our lives out, and it's ideas, it's behaviors, habits, bad eating, bad physical, are we exercising? Are we making our systems work properly within the body? I just think it all is connected. And I'm very aware of the liver right now. Yeah. And
so
for you,
I mean, it's right.
No, go ahead.
Like I mean, I eat really good most of the time. And so, you know, and I don't even feel pain. And then all of a sudden I hit this age and I'm like, what? You know,
what happened? Are you feeling physical symptoms, or are you just doing a random testing?
I was a physical, just my annual physical, so it was random.
Right.
And so I'm floored that.
What did they say?
They don't know yet. I won't know until Friday. When I go, I only asked this week, yesterday.
Yeah, I'm pretty radical in my view of medical things. I have 4 planets in Virgo, and they're in the Aquarius house, 4 of it, including the ruler of Aquarius, which is Uranus, including Pluto. I have the Pluto-Uranus conjunction from the 60s in that Aquarius house. So I'm a very radically holistic practitioner, and have very strong opinions because Pluto is the opinionated sign of the zodiac, along with Virgo. And, you know, I see, and when the other caller says, oh, you're talented and all that, I see that as that Aquarian energy from that generation. And it's very clear to our generation in a lot of ways. Not everyone. I can grant that not everybody is living their Uranus-Pluto conjunction in Virgo, but because mine's in the 11th house, it really brings out this clarity and awareness of chemicals and chemistry and holism, because Aquarius is about the total picture. And so when I think of anything medical, because of course Virgo is also the ruler of the house of medicine and medical things, I see things in a holistic way. And absolutely, your body is built to work in concert. all the parts work in concert. When you have afflictions, quote unquote, anything that, and I am going to qualify this, I'm not a doctor. I don't have formal medical training, but I have observation and I have my own body as examples. And when things are out of whack, it's because I personally believe a lot of it is coping, that we do behaviors that are not in our best interest, that are coping mechanisms, because we're not truthful with ourselves, either in how we think of things. We worry too much. We think that people are out to get us. And, I'm not one who is immune from this, but the mind-body-spirit connection is a thing. And when you have something that's out of whack in your body, it's telling you, because it's also out of whack in your mindset and your spirit. So I really encourage people not to freak out when they hear things. And definitely Western medicine is set up to go
freak you
to your
out.
fear. It's the only way anymore in our capitalist, and I'm not anti-capitalist. I absolutely love capitalism. I'm just anti-greed. But in our society, the way to keep the money flowing in the past few years, in the last decades, is to feed the fear and to make people want to, and that's always been the way. If you think about it, snake oil salesmen, as they say, they used to feed on that too back in the day, and it's just become on steroids in our society. So I'm highly skeptical of a lot of the medical community, because as soon as they lobbied to get pharmaceuticals, as soon as the pharmaceuticals became put on TV as a regular means for them to advertise and make money online or on TV, we gave up our rights. And then the opioid crisis, come on, people, it's right there in front of you. I'm getting on a soapbox here. I don't mean to, but I rarely talk about this side of myself, and you kind of opened up the door for me. I very much have strong opinions about this, that the medical community now is really compromised. It's compromised, and pharmaceutical companies are what compromise it, because they push their agenda and they push their pharmaceuticals, and we are told that we need these things when we don't. And if you pay attention to your health and what you put in your body, I mean, I can tell you that liver rescue book, and I'm not paid to say this, I just have seen so much and I believe it, because I just go viscerally with how I react to things. And our liver needs attention right now, which is why you're calling about it and I'm noticing it, because we have so many toxins in what we bring into our lives and to our bodies that it's getting overtaxed. So we need to cleanse it out. And the liver rescue book talks about celery juice. And I find that really fascinating, that, a lot of things, herbs, and celery is an herb. Did you know celery is an herb? It's an herb.
No, but I constantly eat it. I mean, it's always in my fridge. Right.
That's awesome.
I put it in salad.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. But it cleans out the fat. It helps get the fat out of your liver. And
I'm so glad you taught me that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you, and I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a medically trained person, but I am a holistically trained. I've done a lot of reading and research, and I understand these things. I do my own herbs and things like that. I make tinctures. And I can tell you, when you pay attention to what your organs are doing and drink more green drinks, do more green things, your body loves it. We're like little plants waiting to photosynthesize, and vitamin C. That's the other thing. Like, I get through the flu and cold season, I don't get them. And if I get a hint of something, I take my herbs and I know what to take, and it doesn't. So,
right.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I think I had a flu-like thing 4 years ago, and it's so long that I don't remember it, and it's so infrequent. I mean, I think I was sick for maybe 2 days 4 years ago, and honestly, that's the last time I was laid up sick.
And because you're so lucky, because you listen to what you need and you follow through holistically. I'm very impressed.
Pay attention to your body. Yeah. I mean, I have issues. I have this, like, a little gout-like symptom in my foot, and I know that if I drink cherry juice, and I know that it's a symptom of kidneys, and urea. So urea crystallizes in joints, which is painful. And the way to get rid of it is to drink dark cherry juice. And if you drink that, then you can break down those crystals and you can get rid of it. So you pay attention. Like I'm obviously off if I have something. So I know this is the case. And I just have a holistic mindset. I do things that are spiritually based. I do things that are energetically based. I do things that are religiously based. I practice Buddhism. I chant. I dedicate time every day to that. And I eat healthier. I exercise. If you pay attention, and this is my part of my passion is to people. You don't have to be sick. You can be healthy. You just have to pay attention to the things that are in your best interests. And it's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy. I've been vegan for a decade. It's not easy. I like cheese. I don't eat cheese anymore, you know. It's not easy. But we can do that.
Yes.
Anyway.
I understand you. And you know what? Just the fact that I can't, you know, I'm never big on green drinks, but I think because of this phone conversation, I'm most definitely going to benefit from you.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm going to try them. Yeah, I really
Well, you know what? I take apples, organic apples, and I put those in the green because, you know, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Get organic apples. I love them. They're like $5 a bag, last me all week. That's my snack lately. And again, I'm not perfect. I like my popcorn. I get my Newman's Own popcorn and do organic, but you know, you temper it. And yes, it's the holiday season. We're going to fall off the wagon. I eat a lot of sugar lately and I'm feeling it. So you get away from the sugar and you take your green drinks and you try and balance it out and you do some exercise. And it's like, you know, don't be so hard on yourself, but temper it, you know?
You know, you're 100% right. I love that. And I just love it. What a great phone call. I love you, Shelley. I love you.
Thank you. Well, I love you too. Yeah.
Thank you,
and you've got, let me tell you real quick before I let you go, you've got all the Sagittarius in your house of creativity, Mercury, Jupiter, and the Sun going through there. So have fun, play. And then you have Saturn and Pluto in your house of health. So you're going to find out things. You're going to be aware of it. But it's really how you interact with it that's going to show you a new path. And you've got Pluto 1 degree off of your natal Chiron. So there's some issues you've had in the past around the body structure, the physical structure, joints and bones, things like that. But let me tell you, it's all workable. I don't not let me put it another way. I do advocate going to a doctor if there's something that's very severe. I'm not going to stay away from the medical community. I'm not stupid. But I definitely take ownership of my health, and I think everybody should take ownership of your health and not so readily give it away to the pharmaceutical companies and to people trying to convince you that you've got something. Do your research. See another doctor. Make sure that you've done your research. It's just reasonable. It's not woo-woo. It's just reasonable. Go and do your research. There's so much to be gotten online now. So much information. Yes, some of it can be scary. Some of it can be other people just, you've got to understand. And I've seen reviews of like different herbs and things on Amazon where they say what they think, whether it worked or not. That's helpful. You get real people telling you this did this for me or this didn't. But remember, you are an individual. You're unto yourself. And even though other people have gone through things that are similar, they aren't you. So do your research and own your life, own your health. Okay?
Okay. I love that.
Anyway, I'm sorry about the rant.
It was perfect. You're a lecturer teacher. You channeled these
I
things,
think I am.
and I love you. I can tell. So I thank you 1,000 thank you. Love your show, and I know it's over.
You're welcome. Okay. Take care, Diane. Happy holidays. We'll talk to you after the New Year. All right. Bye-bye.
Absolutely.
Bye. Anyway, that's the show for this week. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you for sharing it with me this past 10 years. And we will talk to you after the beginning of the year. I will post my new shows, and hopefully you'll have a wonderful holiday, not get in too many fights, not overeat. But don't beat yourself up if you do, and just take it a day at a time. Love you. Take care. Bye. Thanks for stopping stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.